Hello and welcome to the second episode of the second season of the Ecobitch Actress podcast. My name is Sadie and I'm your host, and we have finally our co-host, Superman. Yo, what up? Nice. It's been a little while. Summer is hot, global warming, duh. But we're all still alive, right? That's a great thing. Today, we'll just go straight to the eco tip because I don't feel like rambling. By the way, I really liked my own episode where I talk about Tesla. I think it's so well said. I'm gonna definitely post that on TikTok and see what those dudes say about it. Can't wait. Today's eco tip is really simple. I'm pretty sure about 99% of us are addicted to cell phones at this point, and the tip is to not use your phone 1 hour before you sleep and the first hour after you wake up. And the concept is simple, but do you know how hard it is? I tried out my own eco tip. I try to do it every day, but it's so hard. Yeah, my name is Sadie, and I am addicted to my cell phone like everybody else. But this is crazy. Like, for me, I do have this tendency to want to touch the phone. I definitely realized that my attention span is shorter than maybe 10 years ago. And it's harder for me to, for example, sit down and write or journal without just touching my phone every 5 minutes. Sometimes I check the notifications, but sometimes I just want to touch it. It's so wicked. And phones are not great for your health in pretty much any form or way. Not great for your eyes, not great for your brain, and not great for your energy. So ideally, the eco tip would be limit your phone use to like 2 hours a day, but that's of course ridiculously impossible right now. I mean, it's so crazy. I have heard other people share how phones are just addictive. I mean, I already have it on silent, but it still tugs at my attention. And I'm pretty disciplined, and snobby, but disciplined. So I can't believe other people who are less disciplined, how much they'll be stuck to their phones. And, young teenagers who have no self restraint. Yeah, technology is controlling our lives. This really sucks. So I think this eco tip is just like a suggestion of a beginning of what you can do. Because even 1 hour, it's almost like a challenge to everyone. You have no idea how hard it is to not touch it. For an hour, it's ridiculous. 90 minutes if you can. But I'm just saying, it's a problem. And by not touching your phone in the last hour and the first hour of your day, you save electricity, which is great. And you also have a better start of a day. So then we will have less accidents down the road and less angry people. So that's how the environment is saved by this eco tip. And of course, I invite you to do 2 hours because I'm telling you, it's freaking hard. And this is mind blowing. Think about 10 years ago. It wasn't like this. The world was a lot better. I want to say with a better president, but I don't want to get political. But any president is better than our current president. Okay, so that's also just facts. How does this eco tip matter long term? I mean, down the road, less phone use is better for your health, so you don't visit the doctor so much, for your eyes, for your brain, which is being fried second by second by the phone, by your TikTok. I am not addicted to TikTok, just Instagram. So I feel a little bit better than everyone else. Just a little. I don't know where my train of thought is going. Doctors. Yeah, frying brains. See? This is literal proof that my brain and your brain as well is being fried by excessive phone use. So we gotta look at that. It's pretty serious. What's the second part of this podcast? My co-host. Well, you're going to go into this amazingly fun actress story, right? That's right. Today's fun story is that one-time visit when I went to our local Toastmasters meeting to promote my comedy. Isn't it a brilliant idea? I'm being sarcastic. It's not a brilliant idea. It's a comedy-worthy idea. It's a SNL sketch, basically. That's what happened. So because two of my friends are in this Toastmasters group, one of them literally said, "You're a comedian. I mean, we need a joke master." I don't know what that is, but we need a joke master, so you should come and do some jokes for us. She literally invited me. That's why I went without knowing what Toastmasters are. I mean, it sounded like a foodie group. I don't know. I just know it's where people practice their speech, practice speaking. I was like, I have to be a joke master. That's a ton of pressure, but okay. So I went, and of course, I have my set prepared. But then there was all this logistics because I'm not a member, I'm like a visitor. So I cannot make a speech because I'm not a paid member, which is fine. But then looking back, that day was the absolute worst day that I could have been there for a comedy thing. Apparently, every meeting had a theme. I showed up, and that was the one day that they're doing the Dia de los Muertos, like Day of the Dead, Memorial Day, where everybody is bringing a picture of a loved one they've lost before. And each one will take 2 minutes, precisely 2 minutes to talk about it, which I did not get the memo. I did not bring any picture. I could pull out my grandma, but I don't want to do it like that impromptu. So I just sat there. People brought their grandma and they're like, oh, I miss her, and they do their prepared speech, and I can just feel the energy of the room just go down into a very solemn silence. And it was pretty sad, right? Everybody had someone they lost, and at the end the host himself went. I know it's not supposed to be funny, but he pulled out a photo of 3 people. He's like, I lost everybody in this photo. And he continues to talk about how he lost his, I think, mother, sister, and someone else. And there was just this sense of, I won, that I cannot ignore, because he was just like so into it and so victorious. It's like, okay, all of you just showed 1, but I have 3, all in this single picture. I'm saying it's not a competition. And this is definitely not the place to feel good about being first place about something like this. At the same time, it was slightly funny, but of course, I did not say anything or do anything about it except talk about it on my podcast. But anyways, by the end of that presentation, this was not a room where you do comedy at all. Fortunately, they kind of changed things up, so it became Q&A session where like this person asks questions and you have to go up there and just make a speech for 1 minute or 2 minutes, like randomest things. And she generated her questions with AI. So the questions were like pretty stiff, for lack of a better word. And then they picked me for one of the questions. I just remember I was low-key trying to be funny, but not like over the top. But I was just acting like how a comedian would answer that question. And it was something like, what are your 3 weaknesses? So I remembered answering some bullshit and feeling like as if I bombed an open mic, which I'm very much competent and my answers were funny. But first of all, it was definitely the room, not me. Everyone was just talking about their dead grandpa and grandma. And by the way, this is also a Toastmaster. I don't know if you've been to one, but this is not an average crowd. It's gotta be one of the hardest rooms to crack, consisting of members that are, I don't know where they came from, but they are just serious AF. They definitely have professions where they do not laugh at all every single day. How serious does it get? There's a person designated to like grade your speech. First of all, everyone grades everyone's speech, and then there's a counter person who counts. So you're not supposed to say anything like or like pause in your speech. They count that. And you cannot say you cannot say like there are pet peeves. Oh, you cannot say like. So I'm like out. I would be like dead meat if I were a real Toastmaster person, because they will count like 420 likes and I am out. So never, you'll never be president of the Toastmasters. But whatever. They are just such hard nuts to crack, almost as hard as those open mic white people, grumpy comedians who are definitely still the hardest, but they're like number 2. And of course, I went in the worst day possible. So I attribute that dead room to external factors instead of my comedic ability. I did not take it personally, but that was such an interesting experience, which everyone's nice. They're just like office zombies. I don't know. Yeah. Including my friend, she's serious in a very positive way, like a very diligent person. But yeah, that's why they need a joke master. I don't even know if they've ever heard a joke in their life and if they laugh, or are they just zombies? No. And at the end of the session, the counter person will be like, okay, Joe, in your 2 minute speech, you said 5 two you knows, 3 ahs, and then goes to Amy, you did 5 ahs and 2 you knows. And then I also got like 5 or 6 of these things. And then this one person that said none of it. So it's like, Smith, you didn't say any of this. Congratulations. And then everyone's cheering him. I'm like, this is such comedic stuff. It's SNL worthy, and I don't know if I'm coming back at all. I did go back once more and I did my set there, kind of like an exception. I said too many you knows in my speech, so they basically banned me. No, they're very nice. They won't ban me, but I'm banning myself from another Toastmasters group because it slightly drives me crazy. I'm definitely in the farthest group from the Toastmasters people. Maybe like AA. But for cell phones. Okay, that's the story for the day. I have a show coming up September 19th. Check out my Instagram for more info. Please subscribe to this podcast. Thanks and see you next time.